Hey Combat Strong, Weston here. Welcome to my kitchen. This is where the food gets made that fuels me through my workouts and training. So really quickly today I want to do a video on meal prepping, and this isn't going to cover everything or maybe what works with you, but it's what works with me, and I'll give you a few tips on how you can adjust it to work for yourself. There are obviously many different options. Today, be cooking some chicken, so if you're vegetarian or vegan, I apologize. I'm sure there are a lot of recipes. This is just what works for me and my family. We do eat meat. We'll also be having a carbohydrate. Really, I don't even know if we haven't tried this yet, but it's just a mix of like rice and quinoa and some oats and some different things. Any type of resistance starch, so like quinoa, brown rice, even beans or lentils, anything like that would also work in this recipe. This just happens to be what's in my drawer for this week. And then also a veggie, green is always nice to have in your meals. I'm going broccoli today, and let's get to it. All right, warriors. I have frozen boneless, skinless chicken breast here, but I also mix that about 50-50 with boneless, skinless, or actually I think this one has bones in and skin on, chicken thighs. So I like to mix the thighs and the breast together again in about a 50-50 ratio, because actually the fat that comes off the chicken thighs is going to help flavor whatever your carbohydrate or resistance starch is if you're gonna cook it like I am. And also this meal, if we did just boneless, skinless breast, is going to be pretty low in fat. And as we talk about in the program, fat is not your enemy in your nutrition. You don't want to have a zero fat diet. Your body needs fat. So that's how one of the ways for this meal that it'll get into the body, as well as I'll probably eat this with avocados, but depending upon where you are, you might not have access to that. So there are some other options we can increase the fat in this. All right, warriors, for my recipe, I'm using an Instapot. I really like it, not a sponsored endorsement there. You can use a slow cooker, you can use an oven, you can use a barbecue, however you want to cook your protein. Again, in my case, it's going to be meat. If you're cooking some sort of plant-based protein, it might have to be a different method. One of the things that I've really found key for me, making sure that I'm not getting bored of what I'm eating, because in our household, I cook, when I meal prep, I try and make enough food to last for lunch and dinner for at least 3 days for everyone that's eating. So I'm cooking a lot of food usually. And if you're someone who you think is gonna get bored of eating that same meal 2 times a day, multiple days in a row, one of the best ways you can mix it up is by varying the protein, in my case, the chicken. So when I cook my chicken, I'm going to barely season it. And then once it's all done, and we put it into Tupperware containers or storage containers, some of them say I can season with garlic. Some of them I can season with a little bit of barbecue sauce. Some of them I can use pepper and lemon. Whatever it is, you can mix it up post. Or say I make a whole bunch of chicken and tonight we have burritos and tomorrow we put it on salad and the next day then we put it in soup. If you're not seasoning your protein too intensely while you cook it, it's much easier to make varieties or change ups during the meal prep throughout the week without having to cook more food. So in a second, you'll see me cook this with just a little bit of garlic and a little bit of pepper in the Instapot. Also, if you're doing something like baking the chicken or barbecuing the chicken, you can marinate half of your chicken one way and half the chicken the other way, and that'll give you some variety in the meals as well. So let's get started, get this chicken going. It's gonna take a few minutes once it gets started, and pretty simple to do. Instapot's already on. So like I said, I'm going about half. I'm all out of chicken thighs, so that's all I have there. There's 2. And again, we're mixing because the chicken thighs are higher fat, the chicken breasts are lower fat. It's good to get a mix of that. And one of the reasons I really like using an Instapot or a slow cooker is they can go straight in frozen. So you don't have to do too much prep work before getting ready to start cooking. So this comes out, I'm gonna go to the sink and fill it, I don't know, just put a couple cups of water. I'm not huge on my measuring, but about that much chicken. And then about that much water. And again, you can season this however you would like, but I would recommend keeping the seasoning to a minimum so that you can season it later in each dish. My go-tos for Instant Pot chicken: pepper. Goes with pretty much everything I like to eat. Black pepper in this case. Sometimes I'll put red pepper in, but not today. And then some garlic powder. This is also going to keep the salt pretty low if you're worried about something like that. And lid on. And then for me, it's plugged in. All I have to do is hit poultry. It's going to go for 16 minutes just based on this Instant Pot. Again, if you're cooking with a slow cooker in the oven or the barbecue, you're going to have to obviously adjust that. There we go. It's going to start to pressurize. It's going to take a second. And then one more tip: if you are using an Instant Pot, remember it needs to be back towards sealing. If you have it on venting, it's not going to work. So push that knob back to sealing. And then I'll see you in just a few minutes. Always takes a little longer than what the Instant Pot says because it has to pressurize first. So those 16 minutes are once it's pressurized. Get back to you soon. All right, Combat Strong. So my chicken is done cooking. And I think this is kind of the magic, the secret trick of this recipe. So I'm gonna pull the chicken out. And again, I might shred this, I might eat it tonight, just kind of cut up on a plate. This chicken can be used for a lot of different things. Need some tongs. Here we go. So all I'm simply doing right now is taking my chicken out of the Instant Pot. Again, you could use this with any type of slow cooker. It doesn't have to be an Instant Pot. But the beautiful thing is that water that I poured in to start cooking this now has some of that fat, some of that flavor, some of the seasonings all in it for the chicken, or from the chicken. And once I get the chicken out, I'm actually cooking the next part of the meal in the Instant Pot too. Let me get this last little bit out. So chicken can go to the side now. It's nice, piping hot. You probably saw that steam come up. But now I'm gonna cook this. Again, you don't have to go buy this brand. I've actually never had it before, so I can't give you any tips on that. Brown rice, quinoa, beans, whatever you're gonna cook is your resistant starch or kind of your healthy carbohydrate. This cooks the same as rice, so 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of this. And I have a beautiful homemade chicken broth in the Instant Pot waiting for me. So I have about 4 cups of water. There's a little measuring thing on the side, that's what I just looked at. 4 cups, so that means I can do 2 cups of this dried product. So I'll measure that out. There we go. 1 cup in. Ooh, looks good. A little bit more. There we go, 2 cups. So, I don't know if that looks appetizing to you. There's a little overhead shot. Probably that glare off the skylight doesn't help. But that liquid nice and full of flavor and a little bit of fat. Remember, we're not too afraid of fat in our diet. We do need some for hormone production. And we go through all of this. If you sign up for Combat Strong, you'll get weekly emails from me detailing all sorts of things about nutrition. So this is good to go. All I did was pour that in. Actually, probably don't need to, but sometimes I like to just give it a little stir around. I don't know why. Seems like something you should do. And then drop this back down. Still nice and hot, which doesn't really matter if it cools down. So as you can see, again, just really quickly, if you've never used an Instapot before, I'm gonna unplug it. That kind of turns it all the way off. Plug it back in, starts back from the beginning. And then my Instapot has, what's it called? Rice. So I'm gonna hit the rice button, nice and smart. Again, make sure that's sealed up on top. While we are waiting for that to cook, I am simply gonna cut up some broccoli. Again, this isn't anything fancy. All I'm going to do is steam this broccoli with the same mindset in I'm not gonna over season it while I'm cooking, because then if I feel like it needs to be seasoned, say tonight I'm just gonna eat steamed broccoli, but tomorrow night, actually tonight I'll probably mix it in with this. So I'll get the hot stuff off, mix it in with this so it won't need too much flavor on the broccoli. But maybe tomorrow night I'll take some of this chicken and I'll make like a stir fry type thing. So maybe I'll put some sesame oil on this, or roast up some ginger really fast and mix it together. So if you don't want to exactly eat the same thing every time, you can change it up with a little bit of seasoning and the stuff that you've already cooked. Or if you want to eat all the same stuff every day, I do that a lot too for lunch and dinner. You can. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a staple chicken, broccoli, and brown rice. Pretty staple meal for lunch and dinner in my household. So nothing wrong with it. Spice it up as you see fit. Add whatever you like, take out whatever you like. The goal is a protein, a healthy carbohydrate, or you can look up resistant starches. That'll give you some other ideas. And then some type of vegetable. I'm going with broccoli today. You could do cauliflower. You could do, what did we do last night or 2 nights ago? We did Brussels sprouts. You could do asparagus, all sorts of different things. Mix it up, have a variety in your food. Eat a wide range of colors, help you get all your vitamins in. Make sure you're getting your fat in. I'm gonna throw some avocado on this later for some healthy fat. So I'm gonna keep cutting this up. This is gonna be cooking. All I'm gonna do is simply put my broccoli in a normal pan on the stove. This thing, I think this might have been my grandma's, nice and old, but still works. Drop it down here, a little bit of water, all the broccoli on top, lid over it, it'll steam it, and we'll show you. And then that's it, everything's cooked. By the time this rice is done, the broccoli's definitely done. And while the slow cooker took some time to cook the protein and the carbs, my work time for this meal has been, I don't know, less than 10 minutes probably. And it'll feed me for 4 or 5 meals probably at least. So pretty good, and it's pretty healthy. So I'll get this in the pan, show you that over on the stove. Should be nice and good to go. Oops. There we go. Come over here, camera. So, broccoli on the stove. Light that up. I think it's this lid. There we go. That lid. Help you get warm. All right, Combat Strong. The broccoli is done. I prefer my broccoli probably a little on the less cooked side. I don't like it mushy. I like it a little more firm. So, you know, obviously I didn't tell you how long to cook for, so that doesn't really matter. We have our chicken. Again, remember, I recommend mixing thighs and breasts together. So if you get something with bones in, just make sure you debone the chicken. And then we have our cooked rice over here. Looks pretty good. Interested to see how that tastes, especially with our homemade chicken broth that we made. So grabbing our Tupperware container or a plate, a lot of times, it's all hot right now. So might as well be tonight's dinner or today's lunch. If that's not the case, throw in a little bit of chicken. A lot of times I like to make it about a third and a third and a third. So a third protein, a third veggie, and a third carbs. Depending upon your goals and activity level, that might be slightly different. Again, it's something that we talk about in the full Combat Strong program if you're more interested in finding some information on calories and macros and what you should be eating for your age, gender, goals, and activity level. So I will take a Tupperware container like this and mix it, and it ends up looking kind of like that. Steam coming off still. There we go, close-up shot if the one off wasn't very good. Pack this away. Easy to take to lunch for work. Come home after training, ready to go. Again, throw it in the microwave or warm it up on the stove, whatever you prefer. And that's it. That's Combat Strong Meal Prep 101. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye.